Yeah, thank you very much, Dirk. Very good afternoon to everybody. I'm honored, first of all, to be here to have the opportunity to present you this very brand new observatory, which, as Dirk has mentioned, has been launched less than a month ago on a very symbolic date, if you like. While our partners in the region, and we have quite a few of them, are obviously critical to us, I do need to thank UNWTO, the whole INSTO team, Dirk and the team. They were so supportive to us, and I guess in going forward we still need your support and probably the input of everyone here. I guess we can learn a lot from all your experiences, as we have already seen today. I'd like to just share a few very basic notions about this very new observatory. The purpose of it, and I guess that's matches most of the other observatories around the world, is about supporting evidence-based decision making, and it's not an easy thing necessarily. We are not in the middle of Europe, and we're talking here about a rural destination in Australia, and not necessarily all this type of data is available at a regional level in rural destinations in Australia. So this is closing these data gaps is one of the basic aims we have. Another one definitely is also about experimenting with new ways of data collection, data analysis that goes beyond the well-established tools. We try to capture our mission in a sentence by saying that the observatory should support tourism development for regional development in a sensitive environment. And as you can see from this mission, there is a heavy focus on regional development. That's because, as you may know, Australia is one of the heaviest, is a heavy urbanized country, with about 90% of the population living in 0.2% of the land area. So it's massive. And this urbanization is increasing. So tourism plays an important role to ensure that people can continue to live in the regions and can make a living there. So economic importance is relevant. Regional development is relevant, but we do need to make a balance with conservation of the areas, as this area in particular is a biodiversity hotspot, has about 4,000 plants that are endemic to this area. You can almost find them only in this area. It has about 100 vertebrates that are endemic to this area, so we do need to have this important balance. Just to let you know which region we are talking about. It is positioned in the very southwest corner of Western Australia, of the Australian continent in general. And we do follow a stepwise approach in establishing the observatory. I think following what other observatories have done already in the past. So we do start not with the whole region, which is called Australia Southwest region, but just with one sub-region, which is the Margaret River region, which is probably the most well-known tourism region in the area. In general, it's located about 500 kilometers south of the capital city of Western Australia, which is Perth, and it is the second most visited tourism region in this Australian state, with about 3 million visitors per year. So this Margaret River region we are particularly focusing at. We chose it because it is probably the most successful region in the area, and it represents a very fragile but also very successful balance between nature and tourism development on the other hand. It is a renowned tourism destination. It is a famous international world-class wine region embedded between beautiful coastline and old growth forest. It also heavily depends on tourism, as tourism accounts for about 20% of employment and 15% of the gross regional product. We invested a lot in creating a partnership, and I think that meets what the Canadian Observatory has reported before. So we are glad that we could involve a number of partners on different levels. So on state level, we do have the major tourism organizations involved. We do have the tourism ministry involved. Then on the regional level, but also then important companies. I'd like to mention two of them. One is RAC, which is the Royal Automobile Club of Australia, which is relevant not only because it has a huge membership base, but it also runs a number of big accommodations in this area. And we also got Expedia, the online travel agent, which you all know, I'm sure, on board, which is pretty amazing for us, as there will be a very interesting data, or I foresee we can do a lot around their interesting data. And they have reported to us, for them it's also an experiment. It's the first time in the Asia-Pacific area they're participating in something like that in broadest terms. So I think they also have a lot of hope in generating new interesting outputs. Obviously, all these partners are included in the working group. We as Curtin University, the biggest Western Australian university, are leading the working group, but we also established a support group, especially once we launched the observatory officially, there were a lot of other partners coming to us and saying we want to be involved. So we at this very moment, we are trying to find a way to involve all of them, from local municipalities to energy management bodies to attraction points, and we guess calling it kind of a support group might be useful. I think this strong partnership really was the outcome of a lot of investment into the process. We involved them right from the beginning in different ways: informal, bilateral discussions, formal workshops, surveys, and I rest convinced it is really critical to generate added value. So we try to understand where are data gaps, what are data needs, and we are committed to deliver on them. And so, final thing, I really want to emphasize that what we did is to make clear and in all our discussions that establishing the observatory, supporting this observatory, was in the very best interest of all the stakeholders in the region. And one of these benefits and values they can generate is showing sustainability leadership. So the region has been trying to position itself as one of the most sustainable tourism regions in Australia, but we argued heavily that by establishing an observatory, they can go a step further, so that they really show sustainability leadership. They are able to support their positioning with evidence-based decision-making and with learnings from such an illustrious group of worldwide observatories, which I think is very significant. So thank you very much. We are glad and proud to be part of this group, and hopefully we can collaborate and exchange information. Thank you.